What's up everybody and welcome to the video. Any of you new subs out there, welcome. Thank you so much for joining the channel. I'm so happy to have you here. The support on the channel has just been unreal. The views, the likes, the comments. I can't thank you guys enough. So I'm going to run you through a bit of background. 6 weeks ago I decided to start my anabolic journey in my quest to become an IFBB pro and to get to that motherfucking Olympia stage. So I started on a very conservative dose. I have the best people in the industry around me doing my cycle before anyone says, why are you taking it so low? This is all thought out, this is a method, this is what we're doing. I'm doing this for the long term, I'm not doing this just to get big overnight. So I started on 250 milligrams of testosterone, and I did my blood test before I even started, so I know exactly where my baselines are. The reason why you want to know your baselines are because you want to know if maybe you have a predisposition to anything. For example, when I did my blood tests, I was on, you have a scale, they give you a scale of where you need to be. And if you're above it, you're obviously off the scale. If you're below it, you're obviously off the scale. I was pretty high on the scale. I wasn't over the scale on my estrogen and prolactin. This may mean that I had a predisposition to aromatizing and or to produce more prolactin. Which is why it's a good thing to know and have your AI on hand. You know, otherwise, if you're normally fine, everything is in check, you're probably going to be pretty sound. And then also to get my baseline testosterone level to gauge a dose. For example, if I came in and I was 9-10 nanomoles per liter versus where I was 21 nanomoles per liter when I was natural. You know that you could get away with less dose because of the ratio. So if you're on 10 nanomoles per liter, I take 250 milligrams, and if you're on 20 nanomoles per liter, you take 250 milligrams. Obviously, you're going to get more out of it if you're at 10 nanomoles because it's going to be a way higher ratio. And then obviously, in the opposite, the higher you are, the higher the dose that you could probably get away with, the lower the dose you can get away with, if that makes sense. So it's very, very important that you get these things done before you engage in this kind of journey. I'm not here to promote it, I'm here to just educate on that process if you are to take that process, because regardless of what I say, you've got your own decisions, you're your own person. I'm here to just help you through it. So let's jump straight into it. I took this test after 4 to 5 half-lives of the compound that I'm taking, which is an enanthate. We know that enanthate is 5 to 7 days half-life, obviously depending on the person, it will change a little bit. But generally 5 to 7 days, which means 4 to 5 weeks. So I took these after 6 weeks because I couldn't get them done over Christmas, and the results are in. So I'm gonna grab my laptop and I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna compare them for you. We're gonna start off with DHEA sulfate. Nothing has changed, it's almost exactly the same, and that's to be expected. Follicle stimulating hormone, luteinizing hormone. These are our main sexual hormones. They are what help produce testosterone in the testes. They are what keep balls full. And they are rock bottom, to be expected. I am now taking exogenous hormones, which means I do not need to produce endogenously. That is what the body receives. It says, okay, we've got so much of this testosterone, let us shut down our endogenous testosterone because we need to cope with this. So that's rock bottom as we expected. That's exactly where we expected it to be, so there's nothing to worry or be concerned about there. Onto the big one, my testosterone. So before I even jump into the number, I want to say a big fuck you to all the people who said I shouldn't be taking 250 milligrams because I'm not going to feel it. I have over doubled my natural testosterone, 100% increase. And I've come in at 40.7 nanomoles per liter. I also took this test 4 days after a jab, so that's almost like a half-life. So it'd probably come up a little bit higher if I did it the day after a jab or the day of a jab. So yeah, like 40 to 45 nanomoles per liter, which is exactly where a 250 milligram dose will leave you, over double a high natural level, because I was 21, nearly 22. That's a high natural level, and I've doubled that. Everyone said I wouldn't feel it, I'm only going to be a little bit above. I'm doubled it, so it's quite a lot above, to be honest. My free testosterone is, of course, it's gone up. More testosterone in the body, more free testosterone. My sex hormone binding globulin is generally unaffected by exogenous hormones, so that's just, it's within range, it's not really a problem. My free androgen index is of course is gone up. That is a ratio of sex binding hormone globulin and free testosterone. So of course that's gone up. I have way more testosterone in my body. That just makes sense. And here's the interesting points: my estrogen and my prolactin. So my estrogen is in range. For those of you guys who followed the channel maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, you'll know that I put a video up saying I had sensitive nipples, which can be a sign of high estrogen. So I introduced an Arimidex every 3 days. So I wanted to bring in Arimidex just because I wanted to clear it out. Arimidex is a fast-acting aromatase inhibitor, and I wanted to get rid of it quickly because I'd had the sensitive nipples for a week or two, so I wanted to make sure they were gone. And my estrogen came back at 44.1, so that's within range. It's on the low side of the range, so I will keep an eye on that in further blood tests because we obviously don't want to go below range. Estrogen has a very key role in bodybuilding and in human function. If you've got low testosterone, low estrogen, your recovery will be affected. You'll get aches and pains, and you just won't feel as good. So sexual dysfunction might also occur as well. So I'm going to keep an eye on that because it is on the low range. I currently take half a tab of Arimidex, which is 12.5 milligrams every 3rd day. Obviously, if that dropped below the range where we want it, we would just either increase the amount of days or decrease the amount of tablet that I take, essentially. But there's nothing to worry about with my estrogen. It's in range. I feel good. I don't have any problems with that, so it's fine. And now prolactin. So my prolactin came up pretty damn high, 620, 621, and generally speaking, like 324 is the range. So that is pretty high. You know, I need that to come down. That's something that I need to address. We know that testosterone can feed into having higher lactotroph production and help them grow, which is essentially just prolactin cells. But also there is a link between dopamine and prolactin. For those of you guys who have followed the channel for a while, you will know that I am a regular user of cannabis, something which stimulates the secretion of dopamine. I have used cannabis for about 8 years, pretty much every day, all day, bar like a few holidays. So it may be, now I want you guys to take this with a pinch of salt because I'm not 100% sure on it. It's something that we're going to find out, and we will be 100% sure on it when the experiment is done. But it might be that my dopamine receptors are just non-receptive because I've just pounded dopamine secretion for 8 years. You know, it might be that they've down-regulated and they might not be secreting as much. We know that high dopamine secretion actually generally means low prolactin, but just because in theory I'm in a high dopamine environment doesn't mean that the neurons are firing like they should be, because I've just essentially pounded that receptor for years and years and years. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a small protocol. I've got 3 or 4 little supplements that just help promote dopamine production, and I'm going to stop smoking. Oh my god, any of you real smokers out there know. I'm going to stop smoking for about 2 to 4 weeks, probably going to do the 4 weeks, just to completely clear out. I mean, I've been a heavy user for a while, so it's probably going to be in my system for a few weeks regardless. And then I'm going to do a retest, and I'm going to see if that has any effect on my prolactin at all. If I do feel any negative effects from the prolactin, currently I do not, I will immediately address that with something like cabergoline. But I don't want to take that aggressive route right now with caber, because caber it's pretty harsh on the liver and lipid profiles and health biomarkers, which we don't want to do. You know, if you can stay away from it, I do want to do that. So I'm technically going the natural way to try and bring my dopamine back on. And let me just run you through my protocol, which I will be doing. So I'm not going to be smoking for 2 to 4 weeks. I'm also going to be taking a gram of Mucuna pruriens, 300 milligrams of P5P, and 75 milligrams of chelated zinc. These are things that just help the dopamine production, dopamine receptors. And I'm going to just stop the weed, and I'm going to see if that has an effect. I'm going to retest in 4 weeks. I hope my prolactins come down. If not, then I'll probably introduce caber to bring that down, bring it right down, and then we'll address the problem from there. I mean, slightly, I'm hoping it's not the weed so I can smoke again. But whatever I've got to take. Health comes first. I'm trying to be the best bodybuilder I can, and having high prolactin is not going to do that. And if smoking weed's going to bring it up, I'm not going to have to smoke weeds. That's just the way it's going to be. And that's pretty much it, guys. Like, there's nothing else to go through on that blood test. This is after 6 weeks of testosterone. I will keep retesting this until everything is in check. If you guys ever want to use blood tests, you can use Medichecks. They are a private company which do blood testing for pretty much everything: inflammation, hormones. They see if you're fertile, they do your thyroid. They also do like food allergies and everything like that. You can use the code Josh Bridgman for discount, and that'll just get you a little bit of money off, and that will support me as well, which would be fantastic. So I appreciate that a lot. If you do use that, if you're a steroid user, you need to be getting this done regularly to understand where you are. There's no good just going in blind. We have the technology, we have the ability to correct everything, we have the ability to read everything. I don't know why you would just say, oh, my nipples are sensitive, I'm going to throw in this, and then just not know what's happening. You know, get it checked out. Peace of mind. If it's not just peace of mind, it's just playing the smart game. You know, like, we've got blood tests, do them, find out what's wrong. So yeah, as always, guys, like, this is just me taking you through my experience. This is my protocol. I'm going to try and bring my prolactin down. Everything else is absolutely fine. I feel great. I don't feel anything. I do find myself looking at my nipples too much in the shower and everything, but they're all good. There's no sensitivity. I feel great all around. Training is going well. Food is going up, and muscle is being put on, which is the main thing here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is another one from me. I will see you very, very soon. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.